So hello everyone, welcome to yet another live session with THiNC Institute of Design. So as promised earlier, we are coming up with a student reaction session wherein we have some of our students who have written the Nift entrance exams today, that is both the CAT and GAT exam. So we just have an introduction with them. Before that, let me just confirm my audio. Am I clearly audible, host?
Yes, are you audible?
Okay, great, thank you. So we'll start with how exactly the exam went, considering the fact that probably it's for the first time that Nift has conducted an online examination. There were lots of discussions and all regarding how exactly this is going to be, whether it would be conducted properly or things like that. So let me start with Grace. So how exactly was the exam? Can you just take us through?
The exam, because it was in a different interface, it was a different experience, definitely. And for me, there weren't any technical difficulties. Everything was smooth. So I was able to attend both the CAT and GAT parts perfectly. And yeah, the only thing which was different and stood out to me was the interface. Everything was pretty okay.
Okay, for you it was easy to upload and connect both the devices. Was it all smooth for you, Grace?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Yeah, nothing went wrong.
That's great. Good. Okay, let me move to Jeevan. Jeevan, how was your experience?
It was obviously a new experience. The interface was different. The GAT part was a bit difficult to concentrate because you have to concentrate on the screen and you will get headache pretty fast, especially while reading the passage and stuff. And there was one technical issue for me. My file took a lot of time to upload, and I had to call my sister, and I was panicking because if the invigilator will spot my sister coming in. So I really panicked a lot, but by God's grace, I was able to upload, but I'm still kind of nervous if it actually reached them or not. But other than that, it was okay.
Okay, great. Abigail, how was your experience?
So for me also, this was a whole new experience. I never thought I'd write an entrance exam in my house. So fortunately, I didn't have any technical difficulties. So that was good. It was good that they had a mock exam so we could just familiarize with it. Okay. That day, it took me a lot of time to pair the device and everything. But today, I think I finished pairing within 5 minutes. So that went smoothly.
Okay, I think that mock exam helped a lot of students who were confused or was not sure about these things, right? Okay, so I think we've already started getting some comments in the live chat box that GAT was too difficult. GAT exam, I thought, is science exam. Okay, I'll come to the GAT exam first, then I'll go to CAT. Okay, it's quite recent, right? It's the latest one that has been completed, and a lot of discussion has been happening regarding the GAT being comparatively very tough. So we'll start with Grace. How was your experience of the GAT exam?
GAT exam was tougher than the CAT exam, and because especially the English part, the synonyms and antonyms and the words given were very difficult. They were an advanced level, and the passage, it was very tricky. Like Jeevan said, it was very stressful to look at because the questions that were asked in reference to the passage, they we had to be very careful. We had to give importance to every single sentence. So in that aspect, the online mode was kind of, because we're staring at the screen for this very long time, and and also the English part was at the end, and it was very difficult to navigate the GAT part. So that was a very tough thing for me to do. And the maths questions, the arithmetic questions, they were pretty easy. They were very direct. And we could get most of them within 1 minute or 2 minutes. And the GK section was also pretty okay. But the English section, the literature part, it was what I think threw everyone off this time.
Okay. Also, it has a good amount of weightage, right? So I think that kind of
Yeah.
English kind of
50 marks. Yeah. Also, there might be like higher chances of like, getting a negative mark in one of those questions. So I think, yeah, that was like the hardest part of this exam, whole exam, CAT and GAT included.
Okay. How about what were the topics like? Do you remember what were the passages from? Was it environment, biotechnology, economics? What was it like?
There was a conspiracy theory passage. I really remember it. It was kind of interesting. And like there was yeah, the conspiracy passage definitely stood out to me. That is why I still remember it. So, and the like, because it's like a conspiracy theory like related passage, like everything like mentioned there is like, like mind blowing stuff. So like we're already mind blown by this whole stuff, and like encountering all those things, there was like I it really took the best of me for sure. That single passage, I'll never forget it. And like there were two other passages. One passage, yeah, it was like it had like a biblical reference. Like I think Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, like something related to the book of Jeremiah. Like I think it was like I don't know, the balm of some, I don't know how to pronounce a word. It was like it's like an ointment, but like there's a philosophical reference to it too. It was like, yeah, the passages were like, they weren't easy, definitely. They were definitely higher than moderate level, I feel like. And the questions were also like we had to like give like 100% to like every single sentence in that passage to get the questions right. So that was kind of yeah, like the passage, it was like most of them like super long, and there were only 3 of them, but they were like super long. And also like they gave like no mercy in the antonym and synonym part too. So I don't know, and there are like 50 questions too just for the literature part. So yeah, the literature part was very tough this time.
Okay. So I think from the way you're using certain words, I think I assume that you expected English part to be a bit more easier. You also
A bit more
very
easier,
confident.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like
You also feel a lot more
like
confident in English. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeevan, yes. Tell us how's your experience.
Yes, sir. So I didn't expect much in English to begin with, so it didn't surprise me. But compared to how we did in the mock exam, there were 5 passages in the mocks and stuff. But this time there were 10 questions from each paragraph. So we have to stress a lot on each passage. There were 10 questions from each passage, and we have to understand the tone of each paragraph. Like, is it abstract or a lot of things outside the box other than the facts given in it. And maths, I think some questions were really interesting compared to the previous pattern. And GK was easy. GK, if you follow the recent things, it's actually easy. Nothing really worst came. But don't expect anything from the heritage part, like the dance forms and the other heritage part. Nothing from that came. And I don't think they asked much from mental ability, because very few questions were there. And also it was jumbled. So I think the weightage was really less for mental ability this time. English dominated the entire exam. It was a lot of English, and yeah, it was difficult for me, the English part. But it was tougher than I expected, but I'm okay with it. Yes, sir, that's it from me.
Okay, the GK topics that you were talking about, so most questions were at the surface level, is it? Like, you didn't go much deeper, it seems like.
Yes, sir. There were many abbreviations, the expansion of NASA and SMT, something like that. You have to expand the short forms of it. So it's pretty static.
Swift typing and CSIR question, yeah.
BRICS
CSIR,
was there.
okay.
Brazil,
BRICS was there.
that
Okay.
thing, yeah.
There's something from the Tokyo Olympics, hockey.
The
the
female
captain of the
women's Indian hockey team. Okay, great. Okay, let's move to Abigail. How was your experience of the GAT exam?
So, on the whole, GAT was, I would say it was tough. GK for me, I thought it was easy. And the maths portion in the beginning, it was going really well. I was getting the answers, but then some of the questions were really new to me and I didn't know how to do it. And then for English, I was expecting like the English questions to be together, but they were all over the place, jumbled. So it was difficult for me to get the flow. And I thought there would be 5 passages, but there were only 3 passages, and they were really long. And we had to understand each and every word, to answer the questions. And there was also a figure of speech question. We had to find out which figure of speech the writer used the most. And the synonyms and antonyms, they were really hard. The word in the question was hard, and the words given in the options were also hard. So that was really hard.
Okay, that's really bad scenario to be in, I think. Okay. Okay, let's come to the portion which has higher. Okay, I have a comment. Pavanesh is saying, okay, was there a question on Oscar awards?
Yes, sir. The best movie in 2020.
2020, is it?
2020.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's come to the portion that has higher amount of weightage. Let's come to the creative part of the exam. Let's come to CAT. Okay. So how was the CAT experience? How was the questions? What were the options and things like that? So Grace?
Yeah, the CAT exam was definitely easier. And the options, we had a pretty good choice for options. For each question, I think any inexperienced person who hasn't even tried a single mock test before can would have a good chance of getting something from these options, because each option was pretty diverse. There were 3 questions in total, and each of them had 3 options each. And all of the options, there were poster design, there were product design, and stuff drawing question. There weren't any perspective questions. Usually they don't ask stuff like that. And stuff like that. So it was very diverse. So anyone who don't have any background related to this, who didn't even prepare for this, put any effort to this, they could have even got some idea of could make some sense out of some of these questions, because there were only 3 questions, and we had a lot of time management part was very, very good. I could even invest a lot of time into colors. I could really do a lot with the colors, and I could really do a lot with the hatching and perfecting everything. So that was I think, yeah, that was very good. For every question, there were 3 questions too. We had 1 hour, more than 1 hour for every question, I feel like. So definitely we had a lot of time. Time wasn't a luxury at all in this exam. Okay. And yeah, the options were very easy too. So CAT definitely went really smooth.
Okay, and how was it after the exam? Uploading portion, how was it like?
Yeah, uploading portion. Yeah, I think a lot of people did have trouble with this because we had to stop the proctoring with the second device, and we had to scan these images and we had to upload them using a QR code on the laptop screen. That was a bit tricky because the uploading part, we don't know if it's being uploaded or we don't know what is happening, if it's some technical issue in their servers, or if it's something from our side. We have no idea what's happening. The loading thing was going on and on. I didn't know if I should cut the thing, and we can't ask for help too. And I also tried the chat function. It was useless. Because I actually had some issue first, I think, with the live photo thing, and I actually did inquire the chat thingy there, and no one responded. Absolutely no one responded. So I think that was pretty useless. I mean, okay. But we do need assistance though for this exam, and there wasn't anything to help us. So I think, and the uploading part, I mean, it took a lot of time, 7 or 10 minutes for me, and I was panicking, and also the timer thing on the screen was like running out. It was like 5 minutes or 3 minutes left. Like I spent like 3 hours on all of these things, and like in the last minute, what they're gonna judge is by these photos, right? Not even like the physical paper. And like, you know, the lighting issue also, like, and yeah, I think, yeah, that is something to be like talked about, because like you know, they're actually evaluating the CAT part just based on like digital photos, right? So like if they're like, if the camera is like, if the picture is blurry, or like, you know, if there are like, if there's like no light or anything, it's like, you know, that's an issue. And like we don't have any option to like, you know, brighten up the, like increase the contrast of the image, nothing like that. We just like, we just have this option to crop the image, and
Okay.
like we just have to upload it as a single PDF file. So like that was kind of off for me. And
Okay.
yeah, but like fortunately nothing else went wrong for me. The PDF file did upload after a very long time, and yeah, I was able to submit it at the end.
Okay. I think Jeevan also has a quite interesting story to share regarding the CAT exam. Yes, Jeevan.
So I didn't wait much longer. The chat was pretty useless. I don't know why it was there. When the exam didn't begin at sharp 10 o'clock, I messaged them, it's not starting. Nothing was there. They ghosted me right away. And but fortunately, it's began pretty faster
So
after that.
when you're saying messaging, you're chatting, is it?
Yeah.
You're using the
Yeah.
chat option. Okay.
Chat option, dash option. And when the image didn't upload, I didn't took any chance by chatting to them because it was useless. So I shifted from one network to other, and after like 5 minutes, it uploaded. But I don't know if it was my network issue or basically a technique error from their part. But it took.
It's definitely a technical error from their side, because
Yeah,
like
I guess
everyone
that
had
too.
it.
Yeah, because everything went perfectly right, but this part it really made me nervous. And the message kept popping up. You have only 8 minutes left. You have only five. And I literally panicked a lot because all this time you put for it, and it was pretty okay for me. I was satisfied with my drawings, and to be not uploading that at the last moment would really break us down. Yeah. So I was supposed to talk about the cat part, right? How it went for
Yes.
me. Yeah.
Yes.
So as Grace said, any person can grasp idea pretty easily because the question was pretty diverse. And obviously you can, personally, I am not much of a poster designing person. So I right away skipped it and went with designing something. It was made for everyone, like everyone can attend it pretty easily. I did not spend a lot of time deciding between like which question to choose, because after reading it once, I instantly decided that I want to do this option because I got a lot of ideas. And yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay. I think you have a lot of people who are commenting the same regarding Fizza is also saying the same. Yes, I went through the same. The chat box was sort of useless. My network got stuck at the last part and I tried to relog in it. Once I've done with it, I got the message like my previous session of the exam has destroyed successfully. I think this is also quite an interesting point to note that the success message that is coming up says my previous session of the exam has been destroyed successfully. It's quite an interesting way to probably sum up that something was successful. Yes, let me move on to this, with the same question regarding the CAT exam to Abigail. Abigail, how was your experience altogether regarding the CAT exam?
So for me, CAT went really well. There were 3 questions and we had 3 hours and an additional 15 minutes because we had to upload it. But that was more than enough time because I finished within 2.5 hours. And for me, there were no technical issues. Everything went well. But for me, like when I logged in at 10, the countdown, it was already at 3 hours, 12 minutes. So I don't know if they started it before 10 or something. And the questions, they were really nice. It was really relaxing, like compared to GAT. GAT was really stressful. And for CAT, the first question I attended was an afternoon coffee with your friend. The second question was to like draw a feather of a duck. And the last question that I attended was to design a gift wrapper for a perfume brand. That was really fun to do the last questions.
Okay. How was the time management part for you? Was it okay?
Time, because we had so much time, that wasn't a problem at all. Managing the time for CAT, I had so much time left.
Okay. How about it for GAT for you? You had time for GAT too?
I wish I had more time, but I was able to like go through all the 100 questions within the 2 hours.
Okay. So now I think I would generally ask all three of you, like any questions that you found stood out, or something that you found quite interesting, or something that you took back even after you logged out, be it CAT or GAT. I think one of the things that I felt was, I think there was a Kingfisher related question, right?
Yes, sir. To draw the feather of a duck or a kingfisher, you have to detail the feather.
And there's probably a similar question in NID also, right? If you have you written NID?
I have written
Yeah.
idea, and there were not.
Yeah,
there a-
like
I
the
don't
Kingfisher
remember.
and the like
Oh
the
yeah,
fisherman
it was a storyboard, but here we
storyboard.
have to here we have to draw the feather, which is pretty ridiculous because I
Yeah.
can't remember how does a kingfisher look like. Even
Also,
a
that
duck.
holds like 30 marks.
Yeah,
Just that
just to
question.
design
So,
a
like,
feather, just to
yeah.
design a feather.
So definitely they expect a lot of detailing from our product.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about you have had quite a relatively new experience. I think it's probably the first time that something like this has happened, as Abigail was rightly pointing out, that it's probably the first time that you people are sitting in your own home and writing an entrance exam, even though there's been some exams that were conducted in the last 1.5 years. Home-based exams were there. Okay. So what's the takeaway, or like for your juniors, or for the aspirants who are going to write the Nift exam the next year, what would you like to suggest, or what would you like to say with the overall experience that you have had? We'll start with Grace.
I would definitely say work on your vocabulary skills because that's the biggest take from this exam. And like arithmetic questions, like work on like arithmetic questions. They usually don't ask very advanced questions. Just basic arithmetic, like grade 10. I feel like grade 10 questions would be like just working on the like formulas and like different types of questions. That would be enough for the arithmetic part. But like vocabulary, you definitely have to give a lot of importance. Like read a lot, because like the passes questions, they're like a very frequent question. And like if we have like certain reading skills, then we can definitely decipher the answer from these passages very quickly, and that is a very essential skill for this exam, because like there isn't much time for the GAT part. There are 100 questions and like 50 of them are English. So like read a lot, read whatever you can, whatever you get in your hands, and like also like maybe go through a thesaurus maybe, because like definitely that is gonna, because there are like very difficult looking words in the GAT exam which are like asked. So like going through thesaurus, I mean, just going through thesaurus might be boring, but like just at least like whenever you like encounter a new word, maybe in like a movie or like anything, just look it up. It might be helpful in the future. And yeah, and the GK part, you should be aware about the current things going around you. Like read the newspaper definitely, and like also like even if you're like using social media, like there are like current affairs that are like going through social media, like be informed basically about everything. Like keep your eye open for anything that's happening, because like focus on like, especially in Nift, like this time they didn't ask like brand ambassador type of logo type of stuff.
I think
But
there were
still,
also no fashion related current affairs questions and all that they had asked, right? There weren't any questions like that.
yeah, no, yeah, but still we don't know if they're gonna ask stuff like that in the future. Most probably they will. So like be informed in that area, like be very up to date, and like obviously work a lot on your vocabulary skills. Watch a lot of English videos too, that might help you too, like
Series. Web series could be helpful here, probably.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
British
and
web
like
series.
if you're like not comfortable watching with just the audio, like turn the subtitles on. You can like see the spelling too, right, of the word if you turn on the subtitles. So like little things like that, even if we do it just for pure entertainment, it's gonna help us in some way like this. Even like a lot of words which are like asked in the exam, which I got, they were like from very like casual stuff which I do, like maybe movies or like just a book a novel which I read. I just looked that word up, and that was what was asked in the examination. So like, yeah, always be informed, like everything. Keep an eye out for everything. And for the cat part, I would say cat part is actually, they don't test us with the cat part usually. So like the cat part, just work on your drawing skills, and like because you should use colors. They won't mention to us use colors, but it is already like understandable there, because like it holds a lot of every question holds a lot of weightage in terms of marks. So like you should be aware about the color theory and like color palette, like which colors go together. That does make a lot of importance, I feel like, to the final artwork or final piece you're like putting on the paper. The colors, if like there are, if you use like, I don't know, like yellow or black, maybe if those two colors don't go with the product you designed or anything, like the whole thing, like even if you have like good sketching skills, the whole thing is ruined, like. So the like the final feel, the colors are important. So like you should work on like the coloring skills, not like the coloring skills, but like like the color theory. You should be informed, like you should know what all colors go well with each other, stuff like that.
Okay.
That is all.
Great. Before I move to Jeevan, Fiza, once you get that message, once you get the message saying that my previous session of exam has been, see, you all three of you got that message, right? My previous session of the exam has been destroyed successfully. Jeevan, Abigail, Grace, all three of you got that message, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't remember. I don't know why. I don't remember seeing anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, Fiza. So once you've got that message, it basically means that they're trying to convey that your submission has been successful. Okay. So just to answer that question, just a minute, guys. Let me just see if there are any questions regarding situation test. Arohi Joshi, we have to wait for an update. Once there is an update, we'll give you through our YouTube channel. Okay. Is there any chance for situation test? Yes. Shweta, regarding the MDes, we'll come up with a separate session for that. Yes. So Jeevan, yes. Jeevan, what would you like to give as advice to the future aspirants?
Yes, sir. So basically, when everyone think about, if they think that it's all about just drawing, actually English is the main hero. So you have to focus a lot on that, and not just random question paper solving, because English
Jeevan,
takes
just a clarification: is English the hero or villain?
It's the villain. I've been hero in the sense, hero of containing all the marks.
Major content. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the skill development is pretty a long process. You have to start, like if you decide 1 year prior to the exam, just start reading, just like Grace said, right away, read everything and make a proper analysis of the paper. Like there's a pattern. For maths, certain questions they ask, but certain they won't. So don't just waste time preparing the things that they won't ask. So yeah. And GK is pretty unpredictable, but based on my preparation, I didn't read newspaper at all. And I just followed random quizzes from India Bix and stuff. And that helped me a lot. Yeah, current affairs was easy for me. It didn't require newspaper reading, but actually newspaper reading would help in developing your English skills. So if I had a chance to go back again, I would definitely read newspaper. And maths was some questions were a bit tough for me. I don't study maths right now, so I just focused on the things they asked previously, and some things were new. There were a long question containing brackets. You have to start from the innermost bracket and you have to work till the end. Bottomless rule or something, I don't know. It was pretty time consuming for me. And yeah, draw everything. You have to finish a drawing, like don't half as any sketches. You have to start a drawing and finish it while you practice it. give your 100% for each practice sections. Yeah. And be consistent in your effort. Yeah, that's all from me.
Okay. I think it's a very important point that we'll just be coming to Abigail. I think it's a very important point regarding the general knowledge current affairs that they are making, that even through social media, you could follow a lot of news. The kind of content that has been asked is not that deep. So you do not have to dig much deeper into this. So if you can at least follow regarding using the Twitter platform or Instagram platform and all, I think it would be very helpful just to know about what is happening, who won what, and things like that. Like I remember, I think the Indian women's hockey team won, I think came out as fourth in the Olympics. That in itself was a really big achievement. That's a huge achievement. So that makes the news important in itself. You would obviously find a lot of posters and all posted the very next day in Instagram, Twitter, and all. So that kind of makes an easy way to follow all these content-related news. I think one very good point that both of them have mentioned, we'll be going to Abigail too, both of them have mentioned is regarding reading the newspapers, or probably at least the editorials, trying to predict the tones of certain passages or to predict the word meanings also, which would be extremely helpful. Or if you're coming up across a new word, write it down. I used to have A4 sheets wherein we used to write down the new words, and on the right hand side, we just write the meanings of that in one line. Or you could use, there are lots of innovative ways like using flashcards and things like that. So I think this could be excellent methods in which you could work upon in the upcoming exams and all. Yes, Abigail, how was what is it that you have to convey to your future to your juniors?
So before every exam, I always tell my mother I really wish I could relive the last 2 years so that I could prepare more well. So when you have the time, use it really wisely. Just like they said, read the newspaper, and if you find any new word, write it down. At least one word every day could help you, could really help you a lot. And also when you're watching something and you're
This
hearing
sounds more like a confession, Abigail. Please continue.
Okay, and for the arithmetic part, even if the calculations, like they're small numbers, I have a hard time because in school we're used to doing it with calculators, and all of a sudden for entrance we're not allowed to use calculators. So practice like solving without calculators, and just practice. That's the only solution. Do as many questions as you can. Yeah.
Okay. How much did each question in GAT carry, Abigail?
1 mark each.
And I think there was a 0.25 negative marks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we have quite an interesting experience shared by Arohi in the chat box. The most confusing part was I was reading the paragraph, that is the English paragraph, and the invigilator texted, "Don't use calculator." Okay. So I think regarding this invigilation thing and regarding this uploading thing and all, there's been a lot of issues and all. I remember I think we started getting panic calls from 8:15 or 8:30 in the morning itself. I hope most of you must have answered it properly. Okay, just to ask one more question. So any you must have had a lot of concerns, right, regarding what happens if the power supply goes off, or because you need to have this switched on for 5-6 hours and all, right? So what were some of the concerns? What were some of the concerns that you had, and how do you feel right now, Grace?
The main concern was definitely the internet connection being interrupted in between. So what I did is that we do have like a stable internet connection also, like a Wi-Fi connection at home. I used that like as the main thing, like as the main connection. And also I had like I asked my dad to like share like his mobile data using Wi-Fi hotspot, and I actually had that too. Like, so like I had two options, like plan B if anything goes wrong.
Backup and your Wi-Fi as the main.
Yeah, backup, exactly. So like, but fortunately, everything was okay with my like house Wi-Fi. So like like the plan, like like it was fine. So like the Wi-Fi, like the primary source, it was fine for me.
Plan A itself worked out for you, that you did not have to go to plan B.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that was okay. And like, yeah, and the second thing was like, because like, you know, it's a proctored exam, our cameras have to be on, like switched on like the entire time, both the devices. So like that usually takes up a lot of battery, right? So that is something I had in mind. So I actually did connect both of these devices like into the power supply. Like they were like being charged the entire time in case, you know, something happens. So like they were like plugged in the entire time. So that was something I like foresaw, like what if that happens. So yeah, the power supply thing and the internet connection thing. Then what, I don't know, maybe, yeah, and I had my window open. So like, what if someone, I don't know, walk, like, I don't know, anything would happen, right? So like, unfortunately, and like, you know, even like this, like the what, I don't know, sound like noise disturbances.
Because the mic was also
Yeah, the mic was on the entire time. So like we don't know what to expect. So that was something which I was anxious about, but nothing went wrong, thankfully. And yeah, and one thing, yeah, and then the technical issues, like because this is a completely new like server, everything. Also, it's the first time Nift is conducting an online exam, so like their what servers and everything, it might not be perfect because like it's the first for them, it's the first experience too, right? So like that is something. So like yeah, and yeah, that did happen because like the chat function, as I mentioned earlier, it was completely useless. I don't know why. Also, they had like a number, like a phone number was mentioned, like we could like ring them up if something goes wrong, but like I don't know, because like, you know, how do we do that? Because like our second device, a mobile device, is like being like used for proctoring, right? I mean, how would like, no one mentions that I was like completely baffled by that. I don't know. I still don't understand what they meant, because I mean, obviously we can't call anyone else for help, and I still don't understand a lot of things. I mean, but I mean, we can like give them an excuse this time, because it's the first time for them too, right? Okay. And yeah, I think most of the people did have a good experience with this. I hopefully, like me. I mean, like technically, like everything went well. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, it's also quite okay. I get the comment. My power supply went off and Wi-Fi got disconnected for 15 minutes. I was panicked. Okay, because of power cut, I kept managing my Wi-Fi, and because of this, my first question of cat was left. I uploaded only 2 answers, so that's quite bad. Such scenarios should not be happening for no fault of ours. This is Srushti. Okay. I hope this. I hope they take care of things like this. Or there's something that they could do about things like this, because you've worked so hard for probably one entire year, and you're working, and for no fault of yours, if you're losing out, it's quite bad. Yes. Coming to Abigail, any concerns that you had before the exams? How do you feel now?
I was scared about the network connection going off and also the power supply. And today it went off 3 times, but nothing happened to my exam. At first, I didn't realize, and I realized that then I saw that the timer was stuck. So that's when I realized that the power went off, and I got so scared. Then it got reconnected very quickly, so it was fine. And I was expecting a human invigilator to be there. I thought like one person would be there watching us, but there was nobody there.
Oh, okay. But I'm not sure whether we can confirm whether there was nobody there or not, because it could also have been like they could see you, but might be
also it's recorded. They've mentioned it, right? So like for 3 months, they can like check it later too.
Yeah, so I think there would be some scenario wherein they would have had a invigilator. We're also getting messages about how some of them have been conveyed. Yes, I was confused whether there is an invigilator, but he was telling me to adjust the light to my entire exam, and I changed it accordingly, and the second device came in front of me instead of the backlight. So yeah, so there could be a person who would have sat for let's say for 50 people, 50 aspirants who are writing the exam also. We're not sure about that. Okay, so now I think most of the, not most, all the 3 exams have got over, right? NID is over, UCD is over, Nift is over. Yes. So okay, there's a question about results. Results we're expecting by March, most probably by the mid of March. Okay, so what plans? What are all of your plans? Grace, do you have any more exams coming up, or are you currently in your 12th? What is it?
No, like I have applied to some private colleges, like to design related. So like MIT, stuff like that. So like I have like certain exams, like their individual exams coming up. Other than that, I'm just waiting for the result. Hopefully.
Okay. Can you give us a brief intro about yourselves? Like, where are you from? What are you doing? How long have you been preparing? Things like that.
Yeah, so I'm actually a repeater. Like I've completed my 12th, and I joined this. Like I joined THiNC to for focusing on NID, Nift, and UCD. And I'm from Kottayam, and my name is Grace. I mean, it's obvious.
Okay.
So like, yeah, that's it. Very short and
Great, thank you. Let's move on to Jeevan. Jeevan, what
Yes,
plans?
Yeah, so I have applied to one university because school is not, it's pestering us. Board exams are still going on, the term 2 board exams, so the schedule is really tight. So I couldn't actually apply to a lot of private universities. So I have applied to one, and I will appear for that, and then I will wait for the result. If things go really wrong, then I will apply to other private universities in the meantime.
Okay, great. Abigail?
I have NATA and JEE exam.
Okay, so you're basically focusing on both architecture and design, is it?
My main focus will always be Nift.
Nift. Oh, okay. Okay. Cutoff, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for the cutoff. We just cannot give out any random numbers. No, we are not sure about that. We'll have to wait. We'll have to see how Nift is taking this up also. There are lots of complaints that are coming up. So we'll have to see how they're going to take it up further and things like that. Christina and Kurvila says, yeah, the invigilator told me to adjust the camera because he couldn't see my face properly. Okay. So it seems like there are people to whom the invigilator has communicated. So probably it would have been a setup like that, wherein the invigilator only communicated to people with whom they were having issues, with aspirants they were having issues.
I was told to adjust my camera during the mock exam.
Oh, okay.
Send me that.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay. So I think it was a really nice session. We could get a lot of interesting comments in the chat box also from a lot of students who were participating. Okay. So some of the questions which we know that are unanswered, like the master's exams and all, MFM, MDes and all. So we'll be coming up with further sessions in the coming days. Okay. And thank you everyone for taking your time out and joining us. Grace, Jeevan, Abigail, I know you must all have been stressed out after a long set of exams that you have written. Okay, so it's time for every one of you to go back and enjoy and relax. So thank you everyone for joining. Okay, and
thank you.
Thank you for having us, sir. It was great.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, and to everyone who has been watching also, thanks a lot. And if you're liking the content at all, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll come up with another session. Until we see you then, it's goodbye from THiNC Institute of Design and all of us. Thank you.